Good evening, folks. It's 2128 on the ninth month, 6th day, 2025. I'm hoping it's going to let me go live. It's been having a difficult time connecting, and it looks like it has connected. Right, so got some really dangerous conditions unfolding here with this storm mist that's it's creeping rather slow towards the east as it's sliding south. But the next red radars have showed me very, very clearly that there's not much is going to go on as far as going inland. So I'm going to do a little Mr. Squiggly bit here in a moment as I can get some of these radars to show. You could see the rings of perturbation on about 6 hours ago. I'm just going to run this for a moment. The suspense, isn't the suspense fun? As all these storms went over, I'm doing the overlay radar on it now, and some of the cam's going to show up, and you're going to see. Here we go. That's what I wanted to load. Yeah, it was really plain. If we do just the radar bit for a moment, put it back to the sixes here. But you'll see these radar rings on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is draw some of the perturbation lines to show why I say certain storms are man-made, why the flow is going to go in a very odd direction, because it looks like the flow's been shut down. Let me see if I can get my pen out. Come on, Mr. Squiggles. There we go. Right. This radar is on over here. Let's get a little more dramatic color. How about white? Right, see these here? These are radar rings, right? That's on, that's on, that's on. And as I went up the coast, this one was on, and it was doing a spike like that as well. That one came on. So really, the only natural flows, and you see the circle here? There's no coincidence either. That radar is on too. So things as they came in couldn't naturally just go out into the bight like they should have. These radars directed everything right here into a lane. And boy, did it put what they're going to call a gravity wave, where you'll see these ripples in front of the storm. So really, the passage of flow is all restricted to come through here, which is then going to make this area here have some fair heavy rains coming up over the next 3 or 4 days. So I'm going to do that part of the forecast now. This storm line here is creeping this direction and sliding south. But when it hits this line here, there's nowhere for it to go, right? So these radars either have to shut off to allow that flow through, or that part of the storm is going to die, and it's going to cause this to turn in a circular way because the convections will change. It'll be the tendril will snap when they cut it, and that'll go that direction, that goes that direction, and there's like an area in the middle, and I haven't quite determined where that's going to occur yet. So as I'm looking at the maps, one area was a bit suspicious. This is that waveform I'm talking about, that crept across here. Watch this. See this wave here? Now I went on Mimic and drew a perturbation map of what I think went on here. You'll see these beams came across the country through here. And let's let this roll. Did it bzz, bzz, bzz. See the fryer right there? You had a few devices come on and kick off to help this event occur. Here's another beam here shutting down the flow there just at the very end. I'll get that down a bit, and we'll do a mark on it. I'm going to get to the last frame. Doink. All right, Mr. Squiggles is going to speak. Mr. Squiggles says, hi. Mr. Squiggles doesn't like geoengineering. It makes Mr. Squiggles' that frown turn upside down. Come on, get off it here. Oh, well, I'll leave that on there. That's what happens if you breathe too many chemtrails. Right, a big beam came down across the country like this. You had a perturbation from a ship out at sea here, and it beamed up like that. Well, it looks like you have a device over in Sedona. Yeah, I wasn't aware of a next rat being there, but when I clicked my maps on, I found something there. But I don't know if that would load good enough for me to do that for you today. And I found something down there. I wouldn't mind some local confirmation of this actually. Let's see if we can pull that up. Oh yeah, we're going for it today, folks. We'll see if the video stays going. And while I load this, I'm giving it the ultimate test. I did a lot of homework here. Now I was looking down here, right around here, and I wasn't aware you had one here, oh Eucla. But when I clicked over here in the middle of nothing, right? It's got this picture that you can click on here, and it came up with this. Bzzt. Yeah, you see the big titty there? Yeah, this is indicative of a radar right there on the top. So, yeah, I'm imagining that's the. Is that on top of somebody's house? I mean, really, I'd like to have some confirmation of what's on that dome. What's the radar setup? Because it's not listed with the BOM as far as radars go. So, but I seen the signature of it showing up here on Mimic, and well, it ain't gonna lie. And when you call it a glitch, you're gonna be lying. And what happens if you're lying? You're dying, right? So we won't be wanting no dying going on, do we, from your lions? So I'm expecting this storm to. It's going to be horsesome around as well, because you see where the radar cut off down here from Rainbow, and that's a flow corridor, so you know things are going to freely come through there. Okay, so these are going to be some nasties. So I'm going to roll a bit of the forecast, and then we'll show you some of the cam. I already had that loaded somewhere else. Let me go grab it. Hi, let's go right back. That's the wind. Now we'll continue with it like that. And now for your geoengineered fuckery. Here it comes. It's just a 1900th, once in 100-year storms. Boy, you guys gonna get some lightning. How's your air smelling today? My ear smelled like farts, and it wasn't even me when I was sitting at the park. I know we were having must be some sulfur plumes. So I'm very curious what the air was smelling like over here at Melbourne. You see Vic as it kicked off over there once it made it past that corridor of radars that were clearly mapped out with their fuckery. Oh, a little bit of action there, Tassie, for you tomorrow. This will be about lunchtime when you're on your way to church and home from church. Isn't it something nice to have to contend with? But it does look like the radar set up the line of fuckery, so the people up in this area here could enjoy some fair weather for a few days, which is nice to report. But only for a few days. And boy, you're going to have one great surfing day coming up next week from around between Sydney and Newcastle. Yeah, 4 and 5 meter waves plus swells. Yeah, so that leads to some very swell stuff. Now, if we're looking out west now, we're starting to pick up some of that tendril, which has to go to the northern part of where those radars were on over here, right? That has to be a separate flow, and that's what's going to feed the next batch of crap that's going to come in. And I'm actually going to let this actually roll, because New Zealand, now is when you're going to need to pay attention, because this is when your fuckery is going to begin. Yeah, the initial swelling of the streams coming there on that. Then the overnight hours of Tuesday, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Tuesday. Ooh, and then the fuckery happens. And we're into Wednesday now, proper, and it's going to get windy, and it's going to get bad. Yep, you have to hold on to your put a pair of pants, or they're going to blow off. Ooh. Look at that low forming over the mountainous areas there. Can't bear it. Could it be possibly some snow's coming? I'd say it is. Yes, there's Mr. Jingle Bells absolutely showing up. And Jingle Bells showing up for New Zealand too. I have to zoom down a little bit here. And I'm just going to let this run a minute because it's just graphics really. With the totals I told you the other day, if they were accurate, I'm looking at about 1/4 of a meter for this coastline here. Coming over the next, that'll come fair quick between the 9th and the 12th. Really going to get hammered. Absolutely hammered. Big totals. And the wind is also going to be a huge factor. I mean, that's not accurate. That's not enough. Yeah, you get more than that. See, they're playing down the totals again. I said 1/4 of a meter, and I'm sticking my guns on that. So get honest, Windy. That's too low, way too low. I was looking at 250 to 300 mil through these areas here. I was looking at every bit of 200 mils through the Kakai area down and through here. I wasn't seeing too much for Nelson and them because of the EMF line. And then the second batch comes over here and really gives a hammer into the north down. Oh, look what shows up. I don't like lying statistics. When you're being gate-kept by Master Gates, he has a book on his table called Lying with Statistics. You believe anything that guy says after that? And look at the heavy totals that are going to result from that second batch of rain coming through. Well needed in some of these areas, right? Let's let that roll a bit. Or do you want to know about the wind today? Because that's a big factor today. Is some of these travels, like this is not sun. These ain't gust. This is wind. And it's driving down towards this, towards these lows down here. That's going to be rushing a bit this way down and around. Because what does high do? Goes towards low. And the big winds for Tassie. Ooh, the big clobbering. But it's the gust that's bothering me the most, because that's what does the most damage. So when I look at your accumulated wind over the next about 3 or 4 days, if some of it's pretty damn bad, like some of these mountain areas, Canberra, you don't want to be in your tent when you're facing gusts close to 80 kilometers an hour in some of these desert areas out here. You're going to be whipped up some sand, Broken Hill and all that. That's fair eminent, those winds, actually. That should be over the next 2 days. Yeah, so watch yourselves out on these roads today. I don't want anybody getting hurt, traveling, skirting the roads. Like if you was driving by Adelaide over to here, it is big winds today. You want to park that car. You don't want to get in danger, do you? I feel bad for my motorcycle people, too, days like today. When the geoengineers spray you hard and the totals come hard and you're seeing crap like this going on. Look at these tendrils here streamering over you guys. Chemtrails, chemtrail, 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 chemtrail. Just streamering over you guys. Toxifying your ear. And that's just not cool to do. And since when do you have like 3 lows in one low here? See the circulation here, here, and here. Now I would expect to see that if there were some islands out here, but they're not. This is the middle of the bite. So that's geoengineering causing a lift with EMF that simulates an island. Because that's the only way you can get that effect. Geoengineering. Yeah, recreating Mother Nature's system. But don't that look like a face blowing cold air like a demon in the bite? My gosh, that does too. Like a horror movie unfolding. The Nightmare on Your Street. That's your boogeyman. Was that the Winter Warlock? Who knows? Boy, look at all the chemtrails over Adelaide. Wow. Only the finest chem bombs in my Barossa wine. Barossa Valley chemtrail wine. Extra sulfur fartiness. I'm just looking at all these chemtrails going by, going, my goodness, how can people not see this? How do they not look up and like something looking like Wilson centered over a radar station? Perhaps. Yeah, it's not looking good today, folks. I wasn't planning on doing a super lengthy show either. Just for you ones that want to have the fun, I'll be happy to show you a little bit of surf. But like I said, I wasn't going to make this super long. Yep, just not. It was, I think it was Thursday when the swells were swell. The really swells. It's swelling up. Yeah, this is the monster swell. Look at this. Watch. As it moves up the coast. Yeah, pipeline's is absolutely going to be running. See the 6 meters out here. So it means that some of the sets you guys are going to get are going to be quite active, quite worth watching. I wouldn't want to do that kind of stuff because, well, I get a crap just watching some of what you guys do. So the swells on that day ain't too high above it, though. Which day was the swells? Tazzy. You gonna get dashed on the rocks? Ah, fuck, man. These geostorms are just too much, ain't it? Every damn day I turn on this radar and I go, oh my gosh, what are they doing to these people now? Oh my. What are they gonna tell them tomorrow? That little nipple ripple thing ain't affecting the clouds or the weather? Bullshit. Because I documented it too many times. So it looks like the cell now is right about just to the west of Merhaba, which means like hello or something in Turkish. Merhaba. Yeah. Sheriff says, lar. Lar, sheriff says lar. Blanchetown. Hey, Blanche, how did that sound coming through? Boy, some big rumblers. And they're fixing to hit these beam lines, too. Yeah, the Rippler is out there, isn't it? A big pebble in a pond. And they're rocking our boat. Look at this over Hillston. You can't tell me these radars ain't on and being used to modify the weather. That causes a heated outflow. When they shut that off, there's going to be a little bit of a suction. It's going to pull some air into that direction, and you're going to feel a breeze happen then. Then the lightning's really going to kick off. Right about here, too. Yeah, I saw a big chem deployment over here just near Murrayville. Should be watching these areas when these storm cells get back over the top of that road here in a few hours. It's going to kick back off. And I want you guys to stay safe. And just know, if you don't keep an eye on your sky, nobody else is. Watch out for yourself. Watch your back. Big love. Stay safe. Peace.